Welcome back to the shipyard. Today we are taking a look at Prototype 01, that's right, the Romulan drone ship, with base stats of 3s across the board. It comes in at 24 points, and it has some unique ways of handling being a drone ship. So let's dive right in and see what it has in store. During the end phase of each round, you get to repair 1 damage to your hull or shields, your choice. Really nice named ability. Essentially, as long as you're alive, you've got 1 extra durability. Pretty cool ability. Also, the ship can only be assigned Garib, or a Romulan drone pilot that's a generic, as its captain. An interesting way to handle this. Now, we'll take a look at Garib in a minute, and that'll tell us more about how that all works. But Garib is from Enterprise, and this whole ship is from Enterprise, but essentially he's a telepathic communicator, and this is where this all comes from. This is being run telepathically. Garib is a subspecies of the Andorians. He's an Enar. That whole story, one that I enjoyed, but the drone ship is unique. As for the ship itself, it's got a really good maneuver dial. All the 2s, all the 3s, and basically the ones that you would expect, 1 straight, 1 bank. 6 total green maneuvers, which is really useful. No red on the dial whatsoever. And with a 2 and 3 come about, both being white, that is really, really maneuverable. The arc is 90 forward, 90 rear. So again, not amazing, but this is a ship you can put torpedoes on and they're not going to be wasted because you've got additional coverage now with that rear arc. I like what it has to offer. The generic, you lose a tech, so you're down to 2. You still have 1 weapon slot. You lose a shield, of course. You're down to 22 points. You still have the restriction that you can only have Garib or a Romulan drone pilot as the captain. Now, I prefer Prototype 01 because I love that named ability. I think that's something that's worth paying the 2 points. And having an extra shield to boot, why not? But if you want to run 2 of these, this generic is definitely not a bad thing, especially if you're looking at era-specific games. If you're in the Enterprise era, drone ships would be a very fantastic ship type to run. Alright, so, Captain. Let's look at Garib specifically. He is Captain Skill ? And we'll get to how you handle that in a minute. He is unique, of course, and he doesn't have a cost because at the start of the game, after setup, you place a captain card under this card so that the skill number is visible. This is the captain skill of Garib. The cost of this card is the normal cost of the captain card minus 3. Minimum is 0, of course. And then Garib can take elite talents based on the captain that you take. So basically, Garib is imitating any captain you want. He doesn't get the ability, but he gets their skill and their talent slots. In addition, Garib cannot be affected by anything that affects captain cards, and Garib can only go on the Romulan drone ship. So you're looking at Garib is protected from Gol Madred. He's protected from criticals that hurt captains. He can't take a fleet captain, which is a little bit of a bummer, but that's okay. Garib gives you a lot of flexibility. He can be skill 5 for free with a talent slot. He can be skill 7 for 1 point. He can be skill 9 for 3 point. Really up to you what you want to do with Garib in terms of captain skill. And he's super flexible. I like that he's protected from anything that messes with captains. That's a great ability. Garib is very useful. We do get another captain in this pack, and that's Valdor 6. You get to add a tech slot to your upgrade bar. When attacking, you may discard one of your tech upgrades to gain +1 attack die. Really, I've used this just for the extra tech slot. Ships like the Valdor, the Galgathon, and a number of other Romulan ships just need an extra tech slot, so Valdor becomes an invaluable captain to give you that extra slot. So, while Valdor cannot go on the drone ship, I'm happy they tossed him in here and said, hey, here's somebody you can use in the rest of your fleet. As for upgrades, we've got Core Overload. It's an elite talent, costs 5 points. Action, discard this card to perform the attack. At the end of the activation phase, after all ships have moved, destroy your ship and roll 3 attack dice. Every ship within range 1 of your ship suffers normal damage for each hit or crit result. And then you can't use cheat death with this, meaning you do actually have to go boom. If you know you're going to die anyways, meaning you're down to like 1 hit, I think this card is playable. I like it as one of Shinzon's hidden talents. The problem is that Shinzon is a very high captain skill, and he's more likely going to get to fire than not before he dies. Still, if you wanted to have the insurance plan, then this wouldn't be a bad one to toss in and say, hey, I've got an option now. It's a tricky card because you get no quality with your dice, so you're just as likely to roll 3 hits as you are to roll 3 nothing. So most of the time you're going to do 1 or 2 damage to everything, including your own ships, and that's just not enough sometimes. It could be a great late game card, and it could swing the game in your favor. I'm not going to deny that, but I think there's a lot of talents, especially Romulan talents, that might just be better. So, Core Overload is playable. I think it could work, but if it's face up, your opponent's going to see it coming, probably take you out before you can use it. If it's under Shinzon, I think it might be a waste, so we'll see. We get 1 weapon here, and that's Triphasic Emitter. Costs you 4 points. At the start of the game, choose a non-Borg weapon and place it face down beneath this card. The chosen upgrade must have a cost of 5 or less, including faction penalties, so no trying to get like antimatter mines here. Attack, discard this card to perform the attack. Flip the card that is beneath this card face up, perform the attack that's listed on the card, and then discard that card as well. So basically, this is a means of saving a point, and it turns any weapon into a one-use weapon. While I don't love that, sometimes 1 is all you need. And if you can make that work, you save that point, you only need to get 1 shot off, this works. Some weapons already discard themselves, so you're going to just save a point here anyways. It's not terrible. It's not my go-to, but you know what? Why not? And now the fun bit. There are 5 different tech cards in this pack. So we're going to start with the cheap and work our way to the most expensive. For 2 points, Backup Sequencer. At any time, you may disable this card to activate all of your shield tokens by flipping them back to their blue sides. This upgrade may only be purchased for a Romulan drone ship. You need some way to disable them. That's not going to be Cloak because the ship cannot cloak, but there are cards that disable shields to do things. There are resources now that disable shields to do things, so you can say, hey, I want my shields back, and boom, they're back, and now you've got more durability. So, 2 points, more durability, I think it could work. For 3 points, we have Maneuvering Thrusters. When defending, during the Declare Target step, you may disable this card to place 1 evade token beside your ship, even if there's already one there. And it costs 5 extra points for any ship other than a drone ship. If you figure you're getting shot at, you say, you're going to shoot at me? I've got 1 more evade. Maybe that's 1 now, maybe that's 2 now. I'm okay with that. It might just save you. It might be a deterrent to make them not even shoot at you. It's not something you're going to use every single round, but it's a card that I think can again see some play on a drone ship if you're trying to build it up to be something pretty cool. Next, we have Multi-Spectral Emitters. It's 3 points. When defending during the roll defense die step, you may disable this card and all of your remaining shields. Note that can be 0 to roll +2 defense dice. This upgrade may only be purchased for a Romulan drone ship. Okay, so do not use this when you have 3 shields. It can make you go boom. Maybe use this when you have 1 shield. Do use this when you have no shields. That's when this is good. So, 2 extra defense dice, net about 0.8 evades, meaning not even 1 on average. But still, 2 extra defense dice can make a difference, can keep you alive. Sometimes they roll 2 evades, sometimes they roll 2 blanks. Yeah, 3 points. Is it always worth it? No. Is it okay? Yeah, it's okay. Next up, we have Reinforced Hull Plating. When defending during the compare results step, you may disable this card to cancel one hit or crit result. For 3 points to just disable a card and cancel a crit. Again, it can stop you from taking damage. That's a good thing. 3 points seems reasonable to stop a crit, or for an extra durability. This is a card that's reasonably priced, and it can go on any ship you want. You want to put this on your Daenerys or your Scimitar or your Valdor? If you get a tech slot on it, yeah, go right ahead. I think it's worthwhile. I like Reinforced Hull Plating. That's a card that I'd get this pack in multiples of in order to have, but it's not leaping out and saying, oh, you gotta have this. It's a useful card, though. And the last card in this pack, Propulsion Matrix, 5 points. During the activation phase, if you reveal a 3 straight maneuver, you may use the 4 or 5 straight maneuver, and if you do so, take an auxiliary power token. So, essentially, you have a 4 or 5 red straight for 5 points. This would only ever matter in the beginning of the game, and then you do like a 5 straight and then a 1 or 2 straight to get rid of it. That's the equivalent of a 7 straight. Why not just do a 3 and 3 and then you're at 6? It maybe matters for running away, but then you want the action to evade. I think more often than not, I want to be able to keep my action around rather than moving really far. But still, mission play. Having 2 extra moves in order to get to objectives faster. This comes in handy. Also, being able to react and do a 3 straight. And now, maybe you're doing a 3 straight. Oh, maybe that'll crash. Do a 4 straight. And maybe that'll crash. So do a 5 straight. Yeah, it's red, but maybe it stops you from being shot at. That's worth it. So what this card does, it enables you to be flexible. I'm aware that other cards out there let you be flexible. This is one that will work on the drone ship, especially. And there are ways to mitigate that auxiliary power, especially on a ship that has no natural red moves and 6 green. Overall, the drone ship. There are a lot of fun things you can do with it. I've seen it used in my venue a few times. I find it annoying to face because it just never quite seems to die. That's a good thing. That's actually a very encouraging sign. Yeah, it only has 6 durability, but if you don't kill it, it gets 1 more. And that's a great named ability that just keeps on forcing itself. And it's a tough ship. You know, there's so much flexibility you have with captain skill with Garib, and you don't spend a lot of points. If anything, the drone ship is very economical. And if you're looking to take 3 ships into your 90-point build with your booster, then I think you really do have to consider the drone ship, because you can pack a lot of punch with like 26 to 30 points and keep on going. Not a lot of other ships can say that. For me, this is a very good ship to have. It's great for the Romulan faction. It's great for Unlimited. And while you may not use the ship in every single mission, it is something you want to have in your toolbox. So yeah, those are my thoughts on the prototype, the drone ship. Thank you guys so much for listening, and until next time, we'll see you around the shipyard. Take care, guys.